Let's make a breakfast casserole using saltine crackers. Let's get started. First things first, we are going to chop up some onion. About a half an onion is all you need. If you want to use more, that's fine. If you want to use less, that's fine too. In fact, you can leave it out altogether if you really want. It just won't taste as good. Let's get about a tablespoon of oil into a skillet. Throw those onions in the skillet and we're going to saute them until they are soft. Go ahead and add a pinch of salt to the pan. Ends up being about a half a teaspoon. It's just going to help the onions release water faster, add some flavor, make things move along a little bit quicker. Keep stirring those onions, make sure they don't burn. Here I'm adding a pound of breakfast sausage. Pork breakfast sausage. You're welcome to substitute this for ground beef, Mexican chorizo. If you don't want meat, you could always saute some mushrooms and throw those in there. Whatever sounds good to you or whatever you have on hand. I'm going to cook the sausage, breaking it up and mixing it in with the onion, just making sure it is fully cooked. If you decide to use ground beef or ground pork or even mushrooms, you're probably going to want to add some spices. You take it in whatever direction you think sounds good. Mexican, Italian, whatever. All right, so next you're going to want to get a casserole dish. Doesn't have to be a square casserole dish like this one. It could be rectangle. You could use a cast iron skillet, whatever you have, but you should have something with a flat bottom so that you can lay out these saltines as you see me doing here. We want to lay out a pretty solid layer across the bottom. You can have some space as you see here, but you don't want to have too much space. If I didn't have to have any space, I wouldn't. Next, I'm going to spread about a third of that ground pork sausage we cooked earlier over those crackers. Don't worry if it's not perfect, just do your best. If you bring a little bit of fat with you when you're scooping the meat in, that's just fine. The crackers will absorb that and it will be delicious. Next, we're going to spread about a third of a cup of shredded cheese on top of all this. Use whatever you have on hand. It could be cheddar, cheddar jack, Monterey Jack. I suppose even mozzarella would work. Whatever you've got is probably going to be delicious. After that, we're going to spread another layer of crackers on top of that. Don't worry if the crackers fall to the sides and they're not perfect. That's totally fine. Next, we'll spread another third of that ground pork sausage over the crackers. Again, do your best to spread it evenly, but don't lose sleep if it's not perfect. And we'll add another third cup of shredded cheese on top of that. And then one more final layer of crackers on top of all of this. You can probably guess what's happening next. We'll put that final third of ground pork sausage on top of those crackers. And as you can guess, we're going to top this off with even more cheese. Another third cup or even a half a cup if you want will be good. Now, while you could probably just throw this in the oven and bake it, and it might actually be halfway decent, kind of like saltine nachos, we're gonna do something different. So, we are gonna crack about 6 eggs into a bowl. Next, we're gonna add about 1.5 cups of whole milk to those eggs. If you don't have whole milk on hand, you can use a mixture of skim or 1% milk and heavy cream, about half and half of each to equal 1.5 cups. Beat the eggs with the milk until everything is thoroughly mixed. Next, we'll grind some pepper into those eggs. Add about half a teaspoon of salt. Then give those ingredients a stir. Next, we're gonna pour that egg mixture into the casserole dish. You only want to fill the casserole dish a little over halfway with the egg mixture, otherwise it could overflow. At this point, you could cover the dish and store in the refrigerator for up to a day. When you're ready to cook the mixture, go ahead and put it into a 325-degree oven for 45 minutes to 1 hour, till the top is nicely brown, the cheese is melted, and it's cooked all the way through. At this point, you're ready to serve and eat. This dish also reheats well, so you can let it cool and serve it later if you'd like. Enjoy!